Hello there, this is Master Daniel 96, and today's video I'll be talking about the Batman. And yes, we do have the news that there's a Batman sequel in the works and we just don't know the release date yet. And I'll be talking about like stuff I'd like to see and all. For characters I'd like to see, I would love to see a version of Robin in this series. Like it could be any Robin. Like I think like if you use Dick Grayson, they could, build it up as he becomes Nightwing in a later movie. I think they could do some interesting stuff there. And even they could even bring in Jason Todd as the Robin in this series, and then you could build up to the Death in the Family storyline, and that's where, Barry Keoghan's Joker could come into play. And if you haven't read the Batman Death in the Family, I highly recommend. It's hands down one of the best Batman stories ever told. A must read for any Batman fan, or if you just love comics in general, definitely read Death in the Family, a must read. So, little side note there. So, yeah, and for villains, as I mentioned, Barry Keoghan's Joker, I would like to see him later on in a movie, not in the sequel, but to a later date. I think he should happen later than sooner, in my opinion. And I did bring it up when I was talking about the deleted scene with the Joker and the Batman. So that's that there. So I brought that up there, and I could link that video down below for if you want to watch that. So that's that. And for villains that we haven't seen yet, like I'd like to see villains that we haven't seen before on the big screen. Like ones that come to mind are Black Mask, the Mad Hatter, and Man-Bat. I think those are some good ones that I'd like to see on the big screen. Maybe Clayface could be an interesting addition as well, and I think they could have some very interesting special effects with Clayface. So that's that there on some villains I'd like to see. And maybe a fifth one, maybe the Calendar Man could be one. Maybe they could do something with the Calendar Man in a future movie. And for villains that we've already seen before, I'd like to maybe see ones that we haven't seen yet in a long time. Maybe like, like I know there's talks of using Mr. Freeze, and we haven't seen Mr. Freeze in a long time, which, he was in Batman and Robin. And Matt Reeves has interest in using Mr. Freeze, and I'm down to use Mr. Freeze in the sequel or a future movie down the line. Maybe they can, use Poison Ivy in this series. We haven't seen her in a long time, which, she was in Batman and Robin as well. And for another, villain we've already seen in the movies that I'd like to see him bring back, maybe we could use the Scarecrow in there. He was in Batman Begins and, had cameos in the other two entries in the Dark Knight trilogy. So maybe they could, bring back the Scarecrow as well. So those are kind of my villain choices. So kind of a mix of villains that we've already haven't seen yet and, villains we've already seen. So kind of a good mix there, like with Black Mask, Mad Hatter, Man-Bat, Clayface, and Calendar Man. And then with, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, and Scarecrow. So I think a good choices there. That's my top choices. And I know Robert Pattinson has interest in using the Court of Owls, so that's another way that can go in a future Batman movie in this series. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see where they take the character and for the future of this series. And that does it for me in this video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think down below. What would you like to see in the future Batman movies? Would you like to see a Robin in this series? Which Robin would you like to see? Would you like to see Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, or Damian Wayne? Let me know your thoughts down below on which Robin you'd like to see. And what villains would you like to see? And when should they bring in Barry Keoghan's Joker? Like, should they bring him in sooner or later? Let me know your thoughts down below. And don't forget to tell your friends to subscribe. And let's get to 500 subscribers and share this video. And follow me on Twitter, DanRS87. Follow me on Instagram, JMD96_YT. And like my Facebook page, Jam Master Daniel 96. Have a great day. Bye.